find out what is the kinetic energy and the potential energy and the angular momentum for a particle of mass m, okay, whose potential form is given to be VER is equal to kmr cubed. So it's basically a central force problem, and we say that this is basically nothing but moving in an orbit, okay, of radius a. So you have to find out what is the kinetic energy and the potential energy. So if you want to do that, we have to use the condition of circular orbit, and we know that for a motion in circular orbit, the attractive force must be balanced by a centrifugal force. We have studied these things when we talked about satellites and all, okay. So force and potential, the relation is dV by dr, which is equal to mv square divided by r. And then we can simply write it down, dV by dr is equal to mv square divided by r. So the aim is to find out what is the potential, okay, what is the form of v, sorry, velocity, not potential, sorry. What happens here is, this is given, the form of potential is given. So this v, okay, so the main important part is, let's not get confused here. This is potential, okay, this is potential here. So I think because of my handwriting, this should be capital V, and this is capital V, and this is velocity. So please don't get confused during exam also, very important. This is velocity. So velocity and potential are there in the form. So F is equal to dV by dr is equal to mv square by r. Our aim is to find out what is the velocity. Okay. So ddr of v, it's given to be kmr cubed. Already the form is given, is equal to mv square by r. So you can just differentiate this. This will be 3kr square is equal to v square divided by r. So simply the velocity would be nothing but r root over 3kr. Okay. So there is a square there, so that r comes out, and then this r goes here. Just written it as r root over 3kr. You can write it down in any form, doesn't matter. Okay, just do it the way you can. Okay, important is the final answer. So let's look into the final answer now. So we said that the question says that it's at r is equal to a, at r is equal to a. So we'll just replace this r with a. So v at r is equal to a is a root over 3ka. Kinetic energy is half mv square, so it is half m v square. Simple. So we get the kinetic energy to be 3 by 2 mka cubed. So that's the energy that it has. Okay, and if you remember, I think we explained this before also, and we already know it, that angular momentum is nothing but linear momentum, okay, cross product with the distance from the center. So the distance is basically considered to be a, okay, and the linear momentum is mass into velocity, okay, and you know that if it is basically moving in a circular orbit, the angle between this distance and the velocity will always be directed in a tangential direction. The angle will always be 90 degrees. So that means you can simply write it down to be mva sine 90, the magnitude. Okay, sine 90 is 1, so it is simply mva. So m and v we have found out, and multiply by a, so it is ma square root over 3ka. So that's the angular momentum. Okay, so this is a simple numerical problem, probably 3 marks. Okay, 3 marks. If I ask you only one part of the question, probably it will just be 2 marks. Okay, so you need to take help from maths. Okay, next question. Okay, so next question I'll explain. Okay, it's very simple. So the next question says that you basically have got the potential energy, okay, the mutual potential energy, V of two particles on their mutual distance r as follows. So you have the potential energy between two particles, okay, and then the potential is given as v is equal to a by r square b by r. So this is also a central force problem, because the potential is dependent on r, and the forms are always different. Okay, here this is the form for this, and a is greater than 0 and b is greater than 0. Okay, the question is for what separation r, okay, so r is basically nothing but the separation, okay, separation distance, are the particles in static equilibrium. So the question is, what do I mean by static equilibrium? In static equilibrium, it means that there is no change of potential with distance. Okay, that's the simple idea here. There is no change of potential with distance. Okay, so you have been given a form dv v is equal to A by r square into B by r, okay? And A and B are constants. And you know that this is the mutual potential energy V between two particles, okay? You have to find out what is the separation R for static equilibrium. So let's just check this out, okay? Let's check this answer. So the logic that we usually use is this. For static equilibrium, the change of potential energy with respect to distance will be zero. So the potential energy does not change with distance, okay? So the potential energy will more or less remain the same. That is very important. So this solution is also not very complicated. Just take this ddr of A by r square minus B by r is equal to 0. Okay, just differentiate this and x to the power minus 1, so it is minus 2 divided by r cube, A is constant, plus B divided by r square. Okay, then you can just take 1 by r square common, and then we have got minus of 2a by r plus b to 1 by r square is equal to 0. So you see 1 by r square is taken common, this r can actually, we can multiply throughout by r square, so you can just get this term to be 0. Then you can find out what is the value of r. So see, the thing is, beginning, starting is important. You all are master students, so I don't think this math part should be very difficult for you. And this question is not very uncommon also. If this question is there, even might be in your undergraduate also, you might have seen these kind of questions. So simply minus 2a by r is equal plus b is equal to 0. You can find out what is r. So r is always in terms of a and b, it should be 2a divided by b. That's the separation. Okay. So this is one more question. I don't think it should deserve more than 2 marks. Okay, that's also important. So let's go to the next question. Let's see how many we can finish today. Okay, probably we'll just do this. Okay, this is important. Now this is a bit different. Okay, so what can be the possible question for this? We have already derived Kepler's law. Okay, the first law, the second law, and third law. For those who missed out on this, I have already uploaded the PDF for that. Okay, because I think rather than looking into the video, you look into the PDF, it will be even more clear. Okay, nothing much to explain. These are all normal mathematical steps. Okay, so there are two parts to this question. One is a very straightforward question. The question is, use Hamilton's equation. Okay, so you have to use that relation of Pj dot Qj dot and so on to find the differential equation of planetary motion. So we did see that the equation of a planetary motion will be in the form of an ellipse. Okay, so we do use that Hamilton's equation to find out that, and then what you have to do is prove that the areal velocity is constant. Okay, so if you remember the rate of change of area, that is the areal velocity, right? So that is constant. That is something which we need to prove here. And we are considering a central force problem, and the form of force is already given. Fr is equal to minus k by r square. That's the question. Okay, just read the question. There is a subpart to this question, and if I'm asking you a question like this, derive differential equation for planetary motion, the answer to this question is also in this particular solution. So this is a question which I asked in the last semester to your seniors. Okay, so you can just make a note of that. Okay, so whatever steps we are doing, we have seen it before also, just we are going to just revise it, okay, in a proper way. So it's a central force problem, so we can simply write it down. What is the Lagrangian, which is T minus V. So it's basically a planetary motion. So you've seen it at the end of the second unit, beginning of first unit, and so on. That for the kinetic energy is given by half m r dot square plus r square theta dot square, and then this is V, and F is given. So we can simply find it out. What is V? Okay, they integrate it and you find it out, and you get this with the K by R. Okay, you can remember also. I don't think you need to do the sums here. If Fr is this, Vr is minus of K by R. Okay, please remember this. And then you can find out what is the conjugate momentum with respect to r, what is the conjugate momentum with respect to theta, because there are two generalized coordinates. So del L del r dot is mr dot, del L del theta dot is mr square theta dot. Okay, I'm not explaining this because these things I think we have done it so many times. No point of doing it again and again, right? Then what we do is our next step. This is we have already done. Please remember this. So our next step is actually write down the Hamiltonian. So summation Pj Qj dot minus L. So it is r and theta, and then minus L. Do your equations, do your calculations, and we finally arrive at this. Okay. So for those who are actually going to watch this in the video, okay, if you have not able to catch it up now because of bandwidth or whatever issue. Please remember this derivation has been done before also. You will find it in the previous lectures. Okay, so please try to see that derivation. So we basically have the Hamiltonian here, and then once we have the Hamiltonian, we can write down what is the Hamilton's equation of motion. So how do we write down the Hamilton's equation of motion? We can write down what is r dot and theta dot. Okay, and then these are our four Hamilton's equation. So if we just have a look here, okay, we do have r dot is del h del pr. You can find it out. Theta dot is del h del theta is p theta by m r square. And pr dot is minus del h by del r. That minus sign, I hope all of us remember, is very important. And then this is p theta dot. Okay. So these are nothing but the Hamilton's equation of motion. Okay. So if you look into the question now, again, maybe we can just go back. So the question says, find the differential equation of planetary motion using Hamilton's equation. So you have to first go to Hamilton's equation and then you can find out what is the differential equation of planetary motion. So we have written our Hamilton's equation, right? And then we can just go a bit more and modify it a bit more. We can write it down mr dot, okay, is equal to pr dot, okay, is equal to, from here, we'll take this equation, which is p theta square by mr cubed minus k by r square, So we will take this equation, okay, and you know pr dot, right? Pr is equal to nothing but mr dot. Okay, pr dot will be mr double dot. Okay, so that the physical significance or the dimensionality will remain the same. So that's momentum. So obviously this has to be having the dimension of momentum, right? That's true. Okay. So what's our next step? The next step is to for the central force problem, we'll basically consider it, okay, because we have to write down it in the form of an equation, okay, and we have to show that this is the equation of an ellipse. So if we basically consider the central force problem, we know that the angular momentum is conserved, okay. So m r square theta dot is L, which is p theta. Again, we have done it a number of times, and we can just put it in the previous equation. The previous equation, it was actually p theta square by mr cubed, okay. So you can just replace this p theta by L. So you can just simply write it down as L square by mr cubed plus Fr. We can keep it as K by R also, but let's just keep it as Fr. And then this step also we have done it, okay. R is equal to 1 by U, okay. And then if we just simplify this, what is R by U? R by U, if you take R as 1 by U and you take R double dot, this R double dot would be nothing but minus L square U square by M square into D square U d theta square. The derivation to this, we have done it when we actually have derived Kepler's first law. I've also shared the PDF, okay? So please check that. How do we get from here to here, okay? So I've kept it as detailed as possible. Then what we can do, we can put this 7 in equation 6, okay, in the previous equation where we actually have r double dot, m r double dot, if you remember. So this is my m and this is my r double dot, okay, and this is L by mr cubed plus Fr. So see, we are actually doing it the same way, okay, we are doing the same thing. We're finding out the equation of the ellipse, and then what we do is we just put all the values in place, do our calculation, and we get this equation. So this is the equation which we have derived in the first, when we derived Kepler's first law also. So this is just a repetition, okay. So this is put in the form of an equation, or in the form of a question rather, okay. So this is the differential equation for planetary motion. So if I ask you to derive the differential equation of a planetary motion, you can take this as a revision. You can directly use this also. And yes, of course, I would expect that all of you derive what is r is equal to 1 by u. And then how do you get r double dot as this particular relation, right? I would expect all of you to derive it, but then sometimes if you find it too hard to derive, you can just remember and put it. Probably I'll cut half mark, but then the purpose is served, okay? It's still better. So please give importance to writing down the correct answer. That's very important. So that's the differential equation of planetary motion. And the next part of the question is, this is something a bit different, that the aerial velocity is constant. So what you can do is you can consider the Hamilton's equation p theta dot. P theta dot. What is p theta dot? Minus del h del theta. And we know that that particular Hamiltonian does not have any theta there, okay? So basically it is 0. So that means p theta is constant. That means m r square theta dot is equal to p theta is equal to constant. We have also done this, but we have done a different approach. We have done it in a longer way. Okay, we have said that the angular momentum is m r square theta dot, and we have done some diagrams and figures, and then from there we have explained. Okay, but then if you look into this question, which is a direct question, you can directly do it this way. Take the Hamiltonian, find out p theta dot, and then do this, and then this m is basically a mass constant. So if m r square theta dot is constant, half r square theta dot must also be a constant, because mass is a constant factor, right? So if this is the case, we can say that the areal velocity is constant, because this is the areal velocity. Okay, so this derivation also has been done before. So in today's class, this question, particularly this question, is more or less a revision, okay, of whatever we have done. But I have just put it in the form of an equation. Okay, so I'll just go back, okay, and just read the question once more and just try to explain you something important here. This question, okay, the question that I've asked before, derive differential equation for planetary motion. So when we actually used the Kepler's first law, okay, and we tried to prove Kepler's first law, which actually is the same question, okay. There we actually did a number of steps. We made it very elaborate, very detailed, okay, so that all of you can actually get the crux of this. So the question is why I'm explaining this, because this is something which you can do in your exam. In short, directly write this down. So if all of you were a bit scared of the first law, the derivation of first law, because it was very long, if you do this, then also it's clear. And here, if you're stuck here, let's say, how do I get this from here to here? Then you can refer to that Kepler's first law. Okay, so this is what is important here. Okay, so this is where we stop today.